Hey cats, it's Ed Winged Horse Bud here, back today with a review on a pair of shoes that I've picked up with my own Earth credits, 165 of them to be precise. The new Nike PEGASUS Plus, a rather nimble Zoomx midsole on this one, and of course the iconic PEGASUS Turbo Upper, PEGASUS Plus. Is this the true follow-up to that high-tempo trainer that lots of people enjoyed in 2018? Let's take a closer look. Thanks for tuning in, people. It's always appreciated. Hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up like too. Drop us a super thanks as well to help support the channel on a more ad hoc basis so I can keep shoes like this rolling in for review. Straight off the bat, people, best non-race shoe from Nike in a long time. Nice and light, 300 grams for my UK size 11, US size 12. It's about 10.6 ounces if you like that sort of thing. I bought this one directly from Nike at the retail price. Nobody's paying me to make this video or is going to vet my views before my valued viewers get to see them. A nice wide landing platform here in the widest point, about 12.2 centimeters up front and about 9.2 centimeters in the heel. Most importantly, I can confirm this is a full Zoomx midsole. There's no carrier foam or anything to nerf it or nullify it. Kind of reminds me a little bit in hand of the Invincible Run midsole. It's got that same sort of coating on the outside of it, but it's very soft in the center. In my pair, I've got about 38 millimeters in the heel and about 28 millimeters up front in the forefoot, making for a 10 mil drop, and that is exactly what Nike suggests we have. I've always got about 3 millimeters additional foam than the sample size is. The sample size tends to be lower and the shoe scales in terms of the actual dimensions. Just in case you were wondering, some YouTube reviewers might give you the sample size. I'm giving you the measurements for my size, okay? So we've got a few extra millimeters on top over the PEGASUS 41. Midsole is nice and soft here. We've got Zoomx, the stuff that we find in the Vaporfly, the Alphafly or the Invincible Run. I've got a Sure durometer score here of about 23, though that outer paint on the midsole does make it seem a little bit firmer than it actually is. So don't just pick the shoe up and sort of do this. You're not going to be able to get a good idea for how soft it is. We will start with the upper first. Upper wise, I got a really great fit here. I'm really loving the Flyknit upper. They've brought it back and it feels fantastic on foot. Lovely profile to this shoe as well. It just looks like those old school Nike shoes and it runs like one too. I do like the Go Faster stripe down the middle here. It really does set the shoe apart from other models. It did appear on the PEGASUS 35 Turbo, which was the first version, and again on the Next Nature, but this is altogether a somewhat different beast. It does stretch into the tongue here, provides a little bit of structure to everything, and it does help to stop the tongue from actually sliding across to the side. There is a lace loop here in the center, but there's no gusseting on the tongue, so like gusseting on your tongue, then you don't really need it here. Laces are of a thinner variety, pretty good length actually, just about enough for a runner's knot if you want to use one. I found that the tongue does a reasonably good job of protecting the foot from any lace tension. Didn't get any biting or anything, even up at the very top of the tongue. There is a more traditional, quite wide heel counter here in the rear of the shoe. Provides some good structure back here. I got a really good lockdown in the PEGASUS Plus. The only weird thing about the upper that I don't particularly like is the quite pronounced lace eyelet reinforcements. They are quite pronounced and they sort of come away from the upper there. Not entirely sure it's needed for them to be that deep. Perhaps you could minimize the weight a little bit further here, just push it more into sort of tempo and pace territory. I think the overall profile of the upper here has enough width up front. Perhaps if your feet are a little bit wider, though if you've got very voluminous toes, I think the Go Faster stripe here might sort of reduce the amount of height you've got here on the toe box. Just makes it feel a little bit more like a race shoe, but not too far down that avenue that you won't be able to put them on and utilize them for sort of daily activities. I would suggest going true to size in the PEGASUS Plus. Don't think you need to go a half up or a half down. I got a good fit regardless of sock thickness. mainly due to the inner sort of cage that you've got here that's attached to the upper. Just provides a really good sort of lock around the foot. Nice smooth, very soft tongue material here. All round it's a bit of a banger when it comes to the upper. Aside from the purple swoosh that they've got here, which is only faintly reproduced in certain bits of the upper here, I think they could have just kept it black or something. It's nitpicking though, and there's very little to dislike here. Bit of a bowling shoe, but it's a strike for me. I'll give it a 2.9 out of 3 for the upper. Just wish they'd get rid of these very pronounced eyelet reinforcements. Just feels a bit like against all the other decisions that they've made in the upper. Midsole, midsole, midsole now. Now, I've always wanted a lower stack Zoomx shoe from Nike. Don't know why it took them so long. Didn't want the full invincible squashy stack and all the extra plush materials in the upper. No stupid shanks that are made of plastic, and a little bit extra 4-foot stack over the street fly, and that's pretty much exactly what we've got here. It's here, it's top notch. 7 minutes 30 per mile pace on my initial run. It sings along nicely. Forgiving yet not too soft. Still feels quite responsive, but it's certainly a shoe that really wants to move. Perhaps not the best option if you just want to cant around the cul-de-sac or the trading estate, but if you want a versatile shoe in your rotation from Nike with that Zoomx material, then the Pegasus Plus is here. The Zoomx is responsive and it's forgiving. The foam is ridged a little bit on the side walls there to aid the squash, and there's no sign of any nasty outer foam carriers here as we've had in previous Nike shoes. This is Zoomx stuff. None of it's crushed up and stuck together with glue. It's the proper deal, and you're getting the Zoomx benefit from the shoe at last. It felt reasonable enough to me at some slower paces like recovery pace or easy pace, which for me is between about 8:30 to 8 minutes per mile. I wouldn't say this is as soft as the SL2 from Adidas. A little bit more responsive there, a bit more capable of turning up the pace and the effort if you wish. A bit more lively perhaps than the Endorphin Speed 4 from Saucony. Perhaps a little bit more engaging as well than the previous Pegasus Turbo 2. The upper on that was a little bit too generous. This feels like a good middle ground between the Peg 35 Turbo and that Pegasus Turbo 2. More consistent underfoot as well than the terrible Pegasus Turbo Next Nature. That was like running on the contents of Nike's foam bin with your feet covered in honey. Perhaps lacking a little bit in rigidity and pop when you're getting up towards sort of half marathon or 10k pace, though I really don't think this one fits into that sort of longer run category. Probably be alright going up to like a half marathon in this one. I think there's other shoes out there with vastly more cushion that might work a bit better, like the Invincible for example, if you're just doing a longer, slower run past that 13-mile barrier. There's no plates or shanks here, don't really think you need one. There's tons of other shoes out there with those elements that you can utilise if you're racing or doing some higher tempo training. A strange inclusion that's the only real fly in the ointment for me is the standard Nike Spenco insole, which sits atop a fabric lasting board. I do just wish they'd let us sit right on top of that Zoomx material. Just seems to give the shoe a little bit more pop and bounce. Why they have to nerf it with these sort of mid materials on top of it, I do not know. I'd love to be able to cut out that fabric lasting board and see how it feels. I think the Invincible version 1 was so good because you are right on top of that Zoomx. I mean, you could stick in your own insole, something a little bit thinner perhaps, or perhaps even like a carbon plate insole could be a good user upgrade if you want to improve the response of the shoe. So perhaps not the cushion that heavier built runners will require here. Again, there's other shoes to do that, but it's a great alternative to the Pegasus 41 if you don't want those air units weighing you down. Fun, remember that word? A lot of reviews I've watched recently, they're forgetting about fun in a running shoe. I put this thing on, it just instantly made me feel like I was 18 again, and that's always a good thing. So finally, a winner from Nike, a daily shoe with a Zoomx equipped midsole. You can do some faster stuff in this one, you could race in it, you could wander around the pool table in it too. So I think that's what everybody wanted, though I see there's a few people out there that are finding fault with it. I really like it, I think it's a banger. I'll give it 2.9 out of 3 for the midsole. Just wish they got rid of that fabric lasting board and gave us a better insole. And make sure you don't take your shoes off by putting your foot on the back here, because you're gonna rip it up. I see people doing it all the time and say they didn't, but they did. Outsole now. Rubber as thick as a Yorkie bar here, ladies and gentle spoons. It's not for the trails because we got a bit of exposed midsole here. That's going to get a bit roughed up, but it's absolutely fine for road and pavement. Really like the stretched rubber that we've got here. Very strange though, they've still got Pegasus Turbo written here when it's called the Pegasus Plus, but you know, no one's going to see that, aside from the people that are behind you that you've overtaken. There's a few nooks and crannies here for little stones and grit to get caught up in, but, you know, you should be able to get that out with your credit card. There's a little bit of abrasion already after my initial runs. The little dots on some of the squares here are starting to rub away, but the grip's just as good. Reminds me a little bit of the Pegasus 41. Grip's absolutely fantastic on that. And also the Romero 17 as well. Got a little bit of that sort of DNA in the outsole. I think you'll get a few thorns and sharper objects stuck in this area of the shoe. There is a slight sort of coarse pattern to it which will help to protect it somewhat, but only time will tell if some sharp debris will cause a malfunction there. The lugs are actually quite significant in depth here on the Pegasus Plus. Not really significant enough there for gravel or anything like that, but I think that's outside the remit for this one. I mean, a fly knit upper on a trail shoe, no, just not happening, okay? The rubber here is that reused stuff. As it starts to wear, you get this white speckling on it, so you can kind of see where your foot's landing a little bit more, where you're getting the majority of the wear and abrasion. There's a little bit here on the lateral side of the heel as per usual, and the rest of it's just here in the forefoot. No rain at the moment. It's summer here in the UK. I'm absolutely boiling. I'm just drinking cans and cans of lemonade. Hopefully we'll get a bit of rain soon so I can test out the grip in some wet conditions. So good to go so far in the outsole. I'm going to give it a 2.8 out of 3 after my initial runs. Value now. So this shoe retails at £165. It's quite a lot if you're just buying it for daily use, but I think actually it spans a little bit further than that. You could use it for some faster work, use it for some recoveries, use it on your treadmill. You could walk downtown in it. I can see why some are scoffing at the price, but I don't think it's too bad. You should be able to pick up a discount on it. Go to sportshoes.com. They've always got some deal for like 10 or 15% off. Get it down to about 140 and it seems like a slightly better deal then. If you bought the recent Pegasus 41 and you were pining for something a little bit more exciting, then it's here now. I can see me using this in training, in daily use, long runs. If I don't really know what sort of session I want to run, I just get out the door, I can see me using it then. It's pretty well put together as well for a Nike shoe. One of the better models in terms of quality, I suppose, over the last few years. So perhaps if the Invincible run's just too much shoe for you, it's just too weighty, then this one is a good 50 grams lighter. Love the fly knit upper. It's nice and breathable but really conforming too. I think this one's $180 over in America. If you convert that to UK pounds, that's about 140 quid. So you are paying a bit of a premium there. Just feels a lot more fun to run in than the standard Pegasus model. A little bit more nuanced than the SL2 from Adidas. More engaging, certainly for me at least, than the Speed 4 from Saucony. And there's a little less heft and density than something like the Puma Velocity 3. It's certainly more stable than the Invincible Run 3 as well, and the upper's way better. Just wish it was a tad cheaper than some of the competitors. And like I said, there's discounts out there. I'll give this one a value score of 2.6 out of 3 after my initial runs. If I've totaled the scores up correctly, that gives us an overall score of 11.2 for the Nike Pegasus Plus. Gotta disregard the historic models, I think, with this one. Just a new model. Isn't really the same as the original Pegasus Turbo, but it's doing the same thing, and that's good. Good response, light and very well balanced shoe. Well done, Swoosh. Keep it coming with this sort of quality item. What are your opinions on this one, guys? Let me know if you've picked up a pair or not. Did you love the original Turbos? Are these working out for you? Let me know down in the comments. Quick musical interlude for you. Finally managed to pick up a vinyl copy of The War on Drugs, I Don't Live Here Anymore. Been biding my time on this one because it always seemed to be upwards of about 45 quid, and I do like collecting vinyl, but not at that price. Managed to get this one at a considerable discount. Really pleased. I love the track Harmonia's Dream. Really good progression on that one. It sort of slowly builds up and really gets going like a juggernaut. The title track's fantastic as well. Some wonderful guitar tones on this one. Really love the way that they use some of the brass section as well to sort of reinforce some of the strings and the pads. You've got this sort of hearty, throaty distortion on some of the brass. It really does work. Wonderful effects and really well mixed as well. Seems to be on a double album, so they've only got 2 tracks like per side. but you can really crank it up. They do sound really nice and loud. There's a good sort of dynamic range to it. Hate it when you get an album and they've sort of compressed everything onto one piece of vinyl. Sometimes you lose some of the atmospherics. Fantastic album. The War on Drugs, I Don't Live Here Anymore. There's a beautiful Gibson 335 picture there as well with a Bigsby on. I mean, what more do you want? Thanks for tuning in, people. Hope you enjoyed today's review. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the Pegasus Plus down in the comments there. Hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up like. Also drop us a comment to help with the algorithm. My name's Eddbud and I'll be seeing you